Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I'm here with my vintage He-Man figure to celebrate He-Man Day. I didn't realise it was He-Man Day. It's not on my calendar. I need to pay attention, I guess. But I saw Mega J Retro doing a video, and he was talking about how he started collecting Master Universe, and I thought, I think I'm just going to talk about that. I have to do something for Master Universe Day, and I don't think there's really any news or any specific announcements of anything being released. That'll be another video if there is. But so I got a few He-Man figures when I was a kid. I didn't get He-Man. I think maybe the last figure I got was He-Man. My mum might have bought me Flying Fist He-Man is the last one she bought me. Either that or I got it myself with my pocket money, because what happened was I got a few when I was a kid, and then my neighbours fortunately had the whole collection, so I was able to play with theirs. And then I inherited most of them, because I don't know if they just left them when they moved, or if I kept them, or if they forgot them or lost them, but I ended up with a bunch of them. And then over the years I replaced most of them with ones in better condition from op shops and that, or completed them and got their accessories and that. But sort of before that, the last wave of He-Man figures, I found them in Venture, which was like the sort of like a store in Launceston that was kind of like Target before Target. And they had like the last wave. They had a bunch of stock. They seemed to be cheap. They had like Sorceress and Flying Fist He-Man and Terraclaw Skeletor and Hurricane Hordak and the Horde Trooper and Ratlaw and Tongue Lasher and that. And I got like basically all the ones I saw. I basically got, and that's sort of how the collection ended off. And that was a few years after they'd been out. So there must have been old stock that didn't sell that the store ended up with. So I was really lucky to get those. But yeah, then I didn't buy anything for a long time. I eventually bought some of the 2002 figures. I didn't do the classics or the reissues. The reissued ones were really expensive, and I had the vintage figures. And classics, I just decided, you know what, they're not on the same scale. We can't add them to our collection. They just want us to start all over again and buy them all over again. I'm like, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. So I ignored all that. And then eventually we had Origins. And I wasn't going to collect Origins, but then I saw they were doing mini comics. Now, I had just recently sold all my mini comics and bought the mini comic volume. And then I'm like, well, I want the new mini comics. And I thought, well, they seem to be doing the same comic with each wave. So what I'll do is I'll get one figure from each wave. That way I have a few Origins figures, and I'll keep up with the mini comics and have all the mini comics. So I didn't want to trust them to do an omnibus for that later on, and I didn't want to be chasing them years later, so I thought, just buy them all now, get them now. And then that made me want the original printed mini comics again, the separate comics, so now I've been buying them again. Now, some of them that I sold weren't in the best condition, so the ones I bought have been in better condition, so I get something out of buying them again, but a lot of them weren't, so I'm just buying them again, and I really regret selling them in the first place. But yeah, so I decided eventually to start collecting the alternate ones, the ones with extra features, or the ones that were mini comic versions or something. And I thought I'd just add them to my vintage collection. And then once I put them all together, I thought they really don't work. And I just like, you know, I'd just get the whole collection. And then I just started collecting all of them. And unfortunately, some of the ones I could have bought for cheap now are more expensive because I sat on it. Yeah, so I've been chasing them. And then they did the cartoon collection, which I'm loving, because one of the things I loved was, no, I totally forgot, before I started collecting the Origins figures, I'd started getting the Super 7 ones where they were doing the Filmation versions of the originals, and that kind of got me back into collecting, actually. I bought some of them, but I was only going to get them. And then I'm like, well, you may as well get a couple of the Origins too and get the mini comics, and then I started getting a bunch of them, and then it's like, no, I'm just going to get all of them. And by the time cartoon collection came around, I'm like, I wasn't even fooling myself into thinking I wasn't going to get them all. So I just bought all of them from each wave. Although I might stop and not get all of them. Like, I don't really want ones like the Invisible Skeletor and stuff like that, little cartoon episode specific sort of individual ones. It's like, nah, I'm going to get the characters that were in the cartoon collection and that, but I'm not going to buy all the variants of them just from random episodes. So I've been getting them. But probably my favourite, of course, would be the 40th anniversary one. And I did end up buying, started collecting Masterverse because of this. I would have gotten the movie ones, because the only classics I wanted to get, besides like Lodar and Wildor, whatever, no, Geldor. They were the only two I really wanted. Aside from them, I was going to get the movie Master Universe figures and just have them separate. But then Masterverse did them, and I actually liked them better, and they were cheaper than chasing the classics ones I'd been looking at for a while. So I got them, and then I got this, and I had to. But then I ended up getting some of the other ones. It's like, I sort of like, well, you may as well just have a little collection of Masterverse scale ones. So I've just got random ones. I'm not collecting all of them, and I'm mixing New Eternia with vintage, and, you know, but his was the first and the best, and I'm glad that I'm collecting them. I've had a lot of fun chasing them down and opening them up and doing unboxing videos and keeping the cards and all that sort of stuff, and it's just been a lot of fun. And we'll see where it goes. Hopefully these lines will end at some point. We'll have complete collections. But in the meantime, there's still quite a lot to get, and hopefully we get them all. But I'm going to go. Happy He-Man Day.